Good afternoon, fans of Rando, and welcome to Speed Gaming 4. We have for you today a Link to the Past Randomizer, the daily race series here on Speed Gaming. Today's race is open mode with hard item pool. Joining me on comms today is Poseidon. Poseidon, tell me a little bit about hard item pool.
It's been a while since I've commentated hard. So there's not much I remember. I know we are either limited to the number of hearts or we're stuck at 3. I think we're limited on hearts. No armor, master sword, I think, and I don't remember if we took away silvers. But we definitely get limited on items and hearts that we're allowed to obtain.
Our runners are off, and Zelgadus, who's started in the Sanctuary, has found the Cane of Samaria, so we're not limited there.
It's a nice item to start with, that's for sure. It's not something that you have to
If you
hunt
find a
down.
little Yeah, if you find a little magic, it'll even work as an early weapon for you.
Yeah, of course, for our racers on screen, we have Etta Omp, Zelgatasan, P-Train, and Vortex of Doom. And we have some very interesting sprite choices for all of them today.
I think that's Ed using one of the tile room tiles.
Yep, a spinning tile. Also, Zelga seems to have found a hammer in Lost Woods.
And he had an 8 bombs tree pole, so those bombs in the drop down didn't really do anything for him. Getting a little nice early divergence here. A couple of people going ahead and dipping the front of the escape, while the other two are making the more traditional play towards the village.
And from our map check, it looks like we have a crystal on Eastern, a pendant on Hera, and a 5/6 crystal on Desert.
And a flute in the first chest of the escape.
Very nice.
Looks like Ed's just going to go ahead and make the play on back here, playing Bomb Escape like the uncle gave him a 10-pack. Of course, he got them from the tree pole.
Yep, and Zelga finding our first sword in Blind's hideout.
Yeah, Bomb Escape proving to be a little tricksome for both of the runners who've opted for it, but they're making their way on through. Zelga finding a bottle in the back of the well there.
And just a couple of rupees otherwise.
Well, it did get him up to money for the bottle vendor, so he's probably not going to complain too much, but you'd like some more.
Cape and escape. Zelda's cell.
Well, that's unfortunately the first 2/3 of our Go to Aghanim care package, having found the sword in the village. Looks like Sick Kid just showing mild affection for the hero today.
Yeah, it's seeming like Kakariko is filled with heart pieces and rupees. Not too much to be excited about.
Well, you're certainly not going to turn down the early sword and hammer. The hammer will get you through most enemies.
Yeah. Looked like a full heart on the library ledge.
Can't imagine that any of these runners will go back for it.
Probably not.
Even if you're standing right on top of it with the mirror equipped, I can't imagine that you would really want to spin the screen transitions on it. So Zelga is going to be the first of our runners to dip into the South Shore area. He'll start doing checks here in probably 10 seconds. P-Train doing a blind check of, maybe he did check that first, but he wants his 50 rupees.
No, his was blind.
We're able to
But
buy
our
him another.
damn chest for Zelga is just some more rupees.
P-Train, it appears, is going to take the alternate route and start at Mini Moldorm Cave instead of the dam, probably Pear Dam and Agina here at some point in the future.
It's not a bad choice, seeing as Zelga only gets some soggy bombs for draining it. So
And it looks like our hoarders are also dropping bombs, or a bomb pack of some kind for our runners today. Bombs
interesting.
would be pretty free. Nice glove and a 300 from the Mini Moldorm Cave, and some other things that aren't really worth writing home about.
Now we just need a moon pearl. And of course, being our first to activate the flute, being followed shortly by Vortex and Speed Train, Zelga not gone to do front of escape yet.
It's a really nice item to have for early game movement. It's going to allow them to make some of these checks a lot more quickly. You can just kind of flute to 7, check the dam, check Mini Moldorm Cave, flute to 8, check Ice Rod Cave instead of having to walk all the way. Zelga taking his newfound Power Glove, and he's going to check the back of Escape. Let's see what he finds here. Probably not going to be nearly as loaded as the front was.
Same with Petra. But you never know, Rando will Rando, so you can find anything back here. Like a Master Sword.
Again, more firepower. You're certainly not going to turn it down.
Which, that should only leave us, at max, one more sword in the item pool. Because I know for sure they take out the gold sword.
It appears both P-Train and Zelda are going to go ahead and make their front of escape plays now. Starting with the uncle, of course. It's kind of nice to be able to tie it all together when you can. The other two went up there without knowing they were going to be able to combo it until the bombs started falling out of the tree.
Yep.
Ed and Vortex doing exactly what we expected and using that flute to push themselves around the world, finding the soggy bombs at the dam. At this point, we still are waiting to find that moon pearl and maybe the lamp, depending on what the seed wants us to do. It's given us 2/3 of the Aga package, it's given us 2/3 of the just go to the Dark World package.
It almost makes you wonder if Agina has something useful today.
Well, Agina, Zora, the flute, which, both Ed and Vortex could use to push themselves up the mountain, would give them a check. And of course, you can save the old man out of logic. Shouldn't be too troublesome for any of our runners today. Seeing a couple of different strats there for the ball and chain guard, we got a hammer ball and chain guard out of Zelgatus, and we got the traditional sword slashes out of P-Train.
Hmm?
That second one is a strat that I am not terribly good at. It appears we'll get our second batch of flute activations here in a moment. Ooh, Vortex has found the magic mirror on Desert Ledge, and he's already got the book, so he's gonna go fetch it.
Yep. We kind of overlooked it, but Bulk was down in the well. So all of our runners have that one today.
And Ed, as I was saying a moment ago, is going to opt to save the old man in the dark.
Right, Vortex already finding the big key for Desert. One of the two items is on the torch, and it's just a heart piece.
Usually you'd
Right.
rather see a map or compass there, but the heart piece is not really something you're going to look back on and worry about.
Yep.
Sometimes you'd hope that it was something nice that might point you to an earlier boots than you might otherwise get. Selga with a quick check of the Hospitall's closet to no great effect. And
Yep.
Ed finds some
Spectacle.
bombs in Spectacle Rock.
Hmm? Vortex is going to go on and opt to hope that Back has our other item for Desert.
I don't think that's going to work out for him without a fire source.
Yep, I may have just realized that. P-Train giving us a visit to our Elder Agina. For a heart piece.
It's a nice one to be able to check off the list at least. Sometimes you can pretty hard last location that when you stop thinking about it.
True. I've definitely seen it happen.
Vortex reconfirming our map check there, and now he's going to go find his piece of heart in Nagina. And Ed is going to go ahead and dive into Eastern Palace. Nice early big key there, helps keep more of the palace in logic for you. You don't have to go find the big key in the dark, locking out the big chest. It's a nominal dark lock chest. The seed just does not want to give up its secrets quite yet, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It seems pretty likely that Eastern is going to have to be the answer, and if not that, Sora. Unless I've forgotten something. Those tin sticks, I believe, are the first item that Ed found. I think it was a dungeon item in the second chest he opened. And a blue ruby in the big chest. It looks like he's going to dive into the rarely used Eastern Ruby room. It's a nice little piece of game knowledge if you've got it in hand and you're a little short on your Zora money.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's Zora money, indeed. Meanwhile, Vortex taking that mirror and going to Hera. What all can we find up here? Oh yeah, there's also Ether Tablet.
Ether tablet right
Right.
outside, you may as well make the...
Just a couple bombs.
It's a very bomby seed early on. Wouldn't be surprised to see bombos turn up sooner rather than later. First check
Yes,
for
sir.
Vortex, big key, so he's not going to be fire locked out of here just yet.
And one of our two items for Tower of Hera, the red ruby.
The big key chest in Eastern only had a compass for Ed, so I believe there is an item on the boss, and with no bow, he's done. Seems like both P-Train and Zelgadus are going to follow in Vortex's footsteps and make that Ether Tablet check and head on into Hera. It seems like Pendant Hera, even being a pendant is something you wind up checking more often than not. It's kind of hard to skip.
Especially when it has a moon pearl.
Well, when it gives you a vanilla moon pearl, you take a vanilla moon pearl and go on your way.
You say, thank you, I'm out of here. Floating island, only a red rupee.
And the long, slow walk through Spiral Cave. No
I
runner
mean,
really wants to do it.
vortexes are spiral shaped, so it could be Vortex Cave today.
Well, maybe. He'll show us the check here in 3, 2, 1-ish.
Piece of heart.
P-Train picks up his Moon Pearl. Zelga's probably going to be about 3 seconds behind that. Stops to read the tile, which seems to be kind of the meme of his race today.
And Paradox Cave time. 7 items up for grabs. 300 rupees and a full heart.
Not going to turn them down, but they're not going to progress your seed terribly much. Although, that did give Vortex Zora money, just in case.
Yeah. And nothing else up top, but some rupees and arrows and a heart piece.
Okay, I just saw the bunny form sprite of Ed's tile. That's pretty great.
Ah, missed it.
So
What was it?
small key.
Ah.
Vortex leading the charge into the Dark World, a green pendant at Ice, 6 crystal at Pod, a red pendant at Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Seeing Pendant Turtle Rock feels pretty good. You don't think you're going to have to find the Ice Rod right up until the seed puts some required progression piece on Pendant Trinex.
So very painfully true. Alright, Hype Cave, a bottle out of 10. That's what we've got today.
Less hype, more catch as catch can. Vortex pressing onto the western side of mid-Dark World here. With the mirror in hand, you can make the K45 check, tie in the Stumpy check, and of course get your dig game out of the way. It's kind of nice when it also turns up a Titan's Mitts and you can walk into the Village of Outcasts, but you know, you're not going to turn down the lamp in K45. Now, we find Zelga in something of an interesting position here. He fell attempting his bomb jump to the big chest of Tower of Hera, and if the tracker is to be believed, and I have no reason to doubt them, he did not go back up and find his Moon Pearl in that big chest, so he's now dipping into Eastern.
Oh no. That will lead him on a long and difficult tour. All I can
Luckily,
say is I hope he doesn't find a lamp around Zor.
well, Vortex found the lamp in K45, so he's not
Oh,
going to find that
fine.
without Dark World access.
Good.
That looked like a fire rod in the front of Skull Woods on P-Train's screen.
I missed it, so wait for him to pull it out or menu, but more than
Well, if he got it, we'll probably see him use.
oh,
Yep,
yep,
that's
there
what
it
it
is.
was. We saw it. I was about to say we'll probably see a little game knowledge. He's going to bomb this wall in the Vanilla Big Key room of Skull Woods and hope that the large magic decanter does not despawn on him. Vortex turned in the Smith, whose item I missed. Did you happen to catch it?
I did not. I was busy watching. But we will have a hammer pegs check and then purple chest. Chat probably caught it though. Full heart done in hammer pegs.
Vortex just going to turn the hat's nose right up at it. P-Train didn't really get a lot of cooperation out of that Gibdo. He couldn't get him onto the spikes, so he had to spend quite a bit of time master sorting him. But eventually he gets his required key, and now is going to have a little happy playtime with Moth and Fire.
Yeah, our first boss fight of the seed.
And Moth, like it likes, is going to hang out right up top on the ceiling and on top of the spikes. Still a very clean fight there from P-Train. 50 rupees for his troubles, and his first crystal of the match at 26 minutes.
Yep. Zelga's up in Zora area. We found a red boomerang on the ledge, and it's time to go see what the big scam artist himself has in store for us. Vortex checks Bombos for a full heart.
Well, if it falls from the sky right on top of you, you're gonna take it.
Might as well. And a little lesson in love from the big scam artist himself.
At that point, you almost don't begrudge the money so much as you begrudge the time.
Also, I saw something about an archer class from the pedestal.
Really now.
Yeah, I don't know if that means bow or if that means arrows.
That is the bow.
Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Silvers are taken out of this. We have a ped seed?
We appear to have a ped seed. I have assuredly seen that archer class text before. That is not arrows, it is the bow. Vortex finding one of our green 20s in Checkerboard Cave. That is an item replacement for things that are taken out of the pool in hard items. And Zelga, having quickly run himself out of checks, is going back into Hera, and he'll find his Moon Pearl here very shortly.
Yeah, archer class. You have chosen the archer class. That is definitely the bow hint. Uh-oh.
Well, oops, most dungeons, I guess. Or at least the seed's gonna force you into it. Just a big 20 in Graveyard Ledge on P-Train's side. Ed also turning the tile up at that heart and hammer pegs. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a terribly popular item today. Now that bow on Ped is going to change P-Train's calculus quite a bit here. He knows that he needs to find the ice rod. He also knows that he's going to need to find whatever medallion gets him into Turtle Rock.
And we're definitely going to have the flippers regardless for Swamp Palace, but we now need for ice. Unless you but
Well, with Swamp being a crystal, you're going to have to find those flippers sooner or later anyway. Vortex just found the magic bag in the Thieves' Town Vanilla Big Key chest, I believe that is. Being hard item pool, but not hard item functionality, if I'm understanding the settings correctly. It's one of the better safeties that's actually available.
oh, actually maximum bow is normal. So one bow placed, I believe.
Seems like our runners are mostly converging in the Thieves' Town area here. At 31 minutes, only P-Train's Skull Woods cleared their names combined.
Well, truth be told, when it comes down to it, with the items that you got, pretty much all you can complete at this point is Thieves' Town and Skull Woods. That we can get to. We can pod. We won't find a whole lot in there. Won't be able to finish it, at least.
And of course, P-Train pulled that fire rod out of Skull Woods, which is, usually one of those indicator items that tells you, hey, go check out Skull Woods.
Also, I didn't notice it from Vortex, but Zelga showing a Titan glove from Titan's from the big game.
Yep, Ed picked that one up as well. I believe P-Train is the only runner without it because he entered from the village portal rather than from the portal by Hype Cave.
Yeah.
But that's fine, since he started in Skull Woods and is working his way down, he'll stumble across that here pretty soon.
Yep. And Zelga will give us our second look at the Smiths here momentarily. We'll know what that was, although seemingly unimportant item. To answer chat, have they entered into desert? Have, but when they did, none of them had a fire source.
Yep, both fire were locked away in the Dark World. Alright, let's actually watch this Smith turn in this time, see what the unimportant item was, just for completeness' sake. The first shield.
Gotcha.
I caught the very tail end of whatever Vortex picked up off of Blind. Was that the hook? Or was it just a rupee and I was glancing too quickly?
I'm wanting to say rupee. Oh, no, tracker's marking
Well, our
it a hook.
tracker's marking hook.
Alright. Hook it is.
Makes mountain traversal easier, gives you some more checks in Hookshot Cave. Once you want to go up there, Vortex, of course, having not done the ped check yet, has probably not got that in mind. You want to save the next mountain climb until you need to do it. But I wonder what we'll see out of P-Train after he gets his hands on the mitts after he finishes this blind clear and goes south.
Vortex checking the magic bat for a full heart.
Zelga's taking his mitts into the mire area. Looks like he wants to go
Vortex
ahead.
already did that.
Yep, looks like he wants to go ahead and put paid to Desert Palace while he's here.
Not a bad option. And Vortex instead is going to go into Mire.
Well, on the hard item pool settings, you've got most of the things you're going to get for dealing with Vitreous. So if you've got the medallion to enter, and he does, you may as well knock it out while you're in the area.
Yeah. I mean, besides the medallion, you need the hook shot or the boots to get past the first gap, which we have the hook shot, so.
And the Cane of Samari to hold down the switch in the basement, which he also has.
Yeah, that's all we need.
And a fire source in case the key is fire locked on the left-hand side.
P-Train coming his Titan's mitts now. And Zelga playing whack-a-mole with Landmolus.
Very nice Hammerland Molus fight there.
Very nice indeed.
Vortex finding Ether in his first check in Mire.
According to Renderer in chat, both bows are placed, but the other turns into 20. First one's picked up.
Oh, interesting.
So all I can say is, bow, please be in GP.
Yep, the other one would have to be pretty out of the way.
The one bow we know is on the pedestal.
Oh, Vortex getting sniped there by a Wizrobe. Kind of backed into him while he was pushing blocks.
Ooh. E-Train getting K45 in with purple chest. Gonna get a lamp here.
It's nice to be able to bundle all of those checks up. It makes the Smith sequence feel a little less bad.
Yeah. Especially when the Smith himself doesn't, or the purple chest itself doesn't have anything worthwhile.
Ed in the Mire Desert area is also opting to knock out Desert Palace while he's in the area. And Vortex, returning to the scene of his previous untimely demise, is hopefully going to show us what's in Cutscene Chest in Mire.
Good old coffee break.
Getting some kind of Samaria strats here on Land Molas from Ed. Okay, Vortex, show us the cutscene chest. What were you waiting for?
Big key.
The big key. It looks like he's still in mind of checking the rest of the front for the second item before he goes down to the boss.
So assuming we probably won't find the bow anymore, where do we find the ice rod?
Oh, you know, it likes to hide out in Turtle Rock under the general guidelines of keeping the key under the doormat.
That's usually to be said about the medallion. The ice rod, unfortunately, isn't often a nice rod.
Well, if it's Crystal Turtle Rock, that would be one thing, but it's pendant. You're hoping to avoid it entirely
True.
anyway.
True. True. Very true.
Ed bombosing his way into Mire. P-Train looks like heading for Checkerboard Cave yet. And Zelgadus, the only runner wanting to do something different, is clearing out these down. Of course, everyone else has already cleared out these down.
Huh? E-Train getting a couple potions here. All of that fat stack of rupees he's got.
When you're locked onto green mail, your health pool is really your resource.
Very true.
Being able to replenish it is a nice thing to be able to do.
And blind down for Zelgo. Hookshot obtained.
And that is very temporary. Oh no, that's not two crystals for everybody. I thought that Vortex had also done the back of desert dip before coming in here, but no, it appears from the tracker that he is not.
Nope, because he didn't have the lamp yet. And then Etta just went back. I assume Vortex will probably go desert after.
It seems reasonable to me.
But yeah, he just kind of fluted on over and went right for Dark World.
But this final eyeball of Vitreous has given him the business.
Well, yeah, you can't just shoot his eye out with an arrow.
But nicely cleared with a combination of Master Sword spins and slashes there.
Zelga's coming to Meyer as well to join everybody.
Now, as I had wanted to say before I realized Vortex did not already have his Desert Crystal, all of our runners have two, although not all of the same two. Ed and Zelga both have Desert and Thieves, P-Train has Thieves and Skull, and now Vortex has Mire and Thieves.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that none of them have gone to visit Skull Woods yet. I mean, they were just over in the area. Thieves Town.
It is a bit of an unfortunate fire rod location if you like to wait until you have the fire rod to go into Crystal Skull Woods.
Right.
And it's certainly an advantage that P-Train has on them at the moment. We may even see Spooky Mire from him here in a minute.
Ooh. Gotta love a spooky action setup.
Vortex making his play into Super Bunny Cave. You can push these blocks around and then hookshot clip through that last one. The timing on it's a little interesting, but not too difficult.
Alright. 2 Super Bunny checks are arrows and one of a single green rings.
Well, I suppose it's a rupee and it spins, but it doesn't spin very well. Maybe Hookshot Cave is going to have something more interesting to show us. 20 times the rupees.
That's a bonus. Hey, some fashionable footwear in the form of flippers. That's all. But we do need those.
That is the last piece of the Clear Swamp Palace care package.
And we have our medallion for Turtle Rock. It is Ether.
And with Ether well in hand from his Mire Clear, he's going to go ahead and open it up.
Might as well. It'll save time once he finds out he has to go in there. Or he might go in right now anyway. At least for a check or two. Yep.
That's usually a safer dip without the fire rod, which he doesn't have, because without that, you'll get locked out from the right side and probably locked out from most of the dungeon pretty quickly. It has to be a very specific key layout to allow you to go almost anywhere. And he's locked out immediately by finding the big key.
Well, that helps. Search elsewhere, young hero.
You will find no fire rod here.
And so he goes for Swamp.
It has a nice density of items, it has a crystal that he needs to collect anyway. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. And add a the Trius fight as well. Soon to be followed by a Zelgan B-Train. And it seems that Speed Gaming 3 is rating with a party of 93, so welcome, Speed Gaming fans.
Yep, welcome to everyone rating us from Speed Gaming 3. This is the Link to the Past Daily Race series here on Speed Gaming 4. We have an open 7-7 seed today with the hard item pool restriction. And since you're joining us late, I will say the one bow that we know about is, in fact, on the pedestal. Welcome.
And only one runner knows this terrible secret.
Ooh, P-Train getting some double spins in here on the last Vitreous Eyeball. He's kind of leading him down the wall and bouncing him off of it.
Very nice. Very fancy.
Also very dangerous, and he's going to burn one of his blue goos because he took a couple of hits, and on green mail, Vitreous is nothing to sneeze at.
To be fair, he has 3 on backup, so he's got them to spin.
Yep, the seed's given him all of these rupees, you may as well use them.
Oh yeah, Zelka checked Zora earlier, but didn't check Waterfall, because no Pearl. Clear out the swimming glitch, if I remember correctly. Then obviously didn't have flippers and didn't fake flipper, so didn't go to Hobo. We have those checks still.
Yeah, he had no Moon Pearl at the time. We still haven't seen the boots, so he couldn't get around it that way. Going to see a little diver down action from Vortex here.
Yeah, best glitch.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this one. I need to sit down and learn the bomb version, though. I'm well conversed with the Cane of Samaria version, which he's got the cane in hand and could have done it that way, but appears to prefer the bomb setup.
It seems to be quicker.
Now, you have to wonder when P-Train gets down here, will we see the left side play from him having the fire rod already in hand and the knowledge of where one of those bows is?
Probably. I'd say he'd probably clear out the laser bridge if he can. Well, he should be able to. Oh, no, he's gonna go finish up Hera first, maybe, after Hookshot gave. And super funny.
Yep, making the overworld checks before you go ahead and dive into the dungeon, just in case. You'd feel really bad if the ice rod turned out to be just, sitting around out here.
Very true. Always a nice precaution. Zelda cracks the turtle's back and opens up Turtle Rock. Also going to follow up with those overworld checks.
Yep, they'll both pull their flippers out of there. And Ed has taken those and followed right in Vortex's footsteps down to the Swamp Palace here.
He trained fluting away. Going swamp. Speaking of boots, Vortex just found some.
Yeah, it's nice once you've been playing for 54 minutes to be able to go fast.
And a mushroom. I wonder what our witch is brewing today.
Yeah, it could be a big 20. Could be an ice rod.
Vortex onto Argus while Zelga is doing Spike Cave.
Yeah, Vortex is using those hook dash strats with the Master Sword. I can't even get them to work terribly reliably with Tempered or Butter, and here he is just showing off. Very nicely done.
Yeah. Spike Cave only seems to be 300 rupees. And Argus is down with a couple of Symbol Sword spins.
The dungeon started and ended with a big 20.
How fitting. Okay, Vortex, where are you off to now? Goldwoods.
He doesn't know it yet, but that's one of the plays that he definitely wants to make.
Or not.
Maybe a play over to Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Cave first. Have a look, see if
Yep.
you don't find your fire rod.
Or anything, for that matter. Wow, our fourth bottle.
Looks like while he's in the area, he's going to make a lumberjack check. He's starting to wonder, where are the things that I still need to finish this seed?
Not locked behind Aga. But we could do with a catfish and pyramid check. And Argus down for Edda. Nice. Claim your rupees and a crystal. Ah, yes, Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, you just got the boots. Pushing them for the Tempered Sword is certainly not something you should turn down.
Yeah. Tempered's nice. There's less spins you have to do against Ganon. That's for sure.
The Tempered Sword fight against Ganon just feels so much better. Master Sword Ganon is tedious.
Ah, Edda gave us Waterfall and we found a shovel. Also, the fairy gives us fairies in a bottle. Alright. Very well.
I guess the thought process is something like, it's my waterfall cave, she can't have it here, take her with you. Ed about to receive his scam.
Yeah, Graveyard Ledge only being a big 20 for Vortex. P-Train going left side swamp. Said I have to know what's over there.
Vortex giving us a mushroom turn in while he's on the route here. Just a little bit of love. And time to spin down some of that pile of rupees for some blue goo.
Got all the bottles. Might as well use. And Edda getting their sword.
Looks like maybe also having a little anxiety of what might be locked behind Aga. He'll get his relief in 3, 2, 1. Menu.
Yeah, I could have sworn he checked that actually at the Zelga checking Lake Hylia Island for a 20.
And 5 whole rupees from the catfish. Vortex turning it down and mirroring away.
Alright, B-Train, let's see what we find. We find compass on left side, big key. So, last item in the big key chest.
Well, at this point, he's spent all the time. He's going to go have to look for it.
Yeah, and our friend under the bridge. 20 rupees. And also 20 rupees for P-Train.
Zelgadis using Bombos as his key to open up Ice Palace.
So truly start to finish, that's 20 rupees for Swamp Palace.
Certainly looking like Ice Palace is going to be our next point of convergence here. Everybody seems to be in the general area if they're not inside already. Vortex setting up a nice water walk there. All you do is dash down the side of the pit, either side will do, and right out the door to arm your water walk. Then you jump straight down off the ledge like you just did there, and boom, you're walking. Unfortunately, when you have the real flippers, as soon as you touch light water like that, you stop. Getting a couple of nice icebreakers there from both of our runners on the top portion of the screen.
Another glitch that's come about within the last year, that's also very useful. Fun to see.
Yep, I'm a fan of that one. It looks like Selgo was mildly late releasing his spin and did not get the stair clip there. It looks really swaggy when you get it, and it does save time. Vortex is joining the crew in Ice Palace here, and P-Train is about to get his 500 rupee lesson.
Will he be the only one to grab the boomer? Survey says yes.
Nicely executed pin gator room with bombs there by Vortex.
Oh, P-Train has already found the sword.
Alright, Zelga on to Cold Stare. Bombos will break the shell quite nicely. Of course, he doesn't have a fire rod to back it up with.
Oh wait, P-Train didn't go Bonk Rocks yet, so where did he end up finding the third sword?
Yeah, where was his third sword? I missed it.
Huh. Interesting.
He did hobo as part of his route, and somebody else got a green 20 from that. Was the fourth sword there? Hopefully somebody in chat caught it for us, or maybe one of our trackers.
I don't remember the green 20 being on Hobo. I know there was one on Lake Hylia Island.
Was that the
his
Hylia Island one? Yeah.
Yeah, but he also got a green 20 there. Interesting. Something we're going to have to ask him. But he's gonna go dig spot and find 10 bombs. It's like, I needed a refill. And 2 cold stare kills for Ed and Zaga. For a full heart and a green pendant.
Now this is an interesting play on P-Train's side, being the only runner who has the knowledge of where a bow is. Going ahead and dipping into pod without one is what it looks like he's doing.
Indeed. Oh yeah, you never went to Sauce. Closet.
Casual 1 hour, 8 minutes of Hospital's Closet Spear 1 check. Why not?
Vortex into the staring contest. And Zelga going up to check Lumberjack. I could have sworn more people checked Lumberjack earlier. Am I just crazy?
No, that was the feeling I had as well. I think the anxiety for the runners who have not yet found the fire rod is beginning to mount.
Huh.
You know, you're an hour in, you've done most of the checks that you can, you haven't seen hide nor hair of the bow, you're still missing the fire rod. And that little seed of doubt starts creeping in. Have I left it behind somewhere? Is it somewhere awful?
Also, I missed if Etta turned in the green pendant. Also, P-Train. Looking nice there.
Very showy. And it's always nice when the runner puts on the spectacle for the fans.
Oh, hey, look, a green 20. I'm assuming all those green 20s are potentially additional heart pieces.
Additional heart pieces, mail upgrades, the fourth sword.
Yeah, I mean, like, we normally see them for, like, the mail upgrades and fourth sword, but I'm assuming the rest are just from heart pieces. Ah, pyramid check from Vortex. Okay.
Continuing the theme of the seed, just bombs.
Oh, just bombs.
The tree poles were bombs, the hoarders were bombs, there were soggy bombs at the dam, there were plenty of bombs in Kakariko Village.
Now, pyramid power is bombs. Ah, Vortex will give us the green pendant turn in. 20 rupees. Alright then. Also, Vortex being our only runner with the actual maximum health, which is 14 hearts.
And once again, we're getting this convergence that's been going on. We got all of the Ice Palace plays. Now, a minute later, everybody's giving us the pod plays. So this is probably a good time to remind you all, if you are enjoying what you are seeing, and Ed, Zelgatus, P-Train, and Vortex have all been putting on a wonderful show for us today, show them some love, give them a follow if you're of a mind to.
Also, not to mention our lovely trackers, WTF, Dinosaur, and Bright Beginner 1, as well as myself.
And of course, Professor Renderer, who, as seems usual these days, has been putting a lot of this together for us behind the scenes.
That he has.
Ed appears to have cleared what he can clear, and Pod has not found anything that he wanted and has dipped right on back out.
Meanwhile, P-Train went ahead and dipped Eastern just to find there. While he's in the area. I don't know if P-Train's maybe forgotten that pedestal said the hint about the archer class. Maybe he wrote that off as arrows.
Maybe he did, maybe he's hoping that that is the second logical bow in the sequence and that he can just find one somewhere else. Maybe he has it fully in mind and he's just hoping to find the ice rod first before he makes that dive into Turtle Rock.
Very possible. Just trying to clear up all of the dungeons that he can. When he's ready, he can just zoom right through them all. Have to worry about opening all the chests and clearing all the puzzles.
Very nice potion camera unlock glitch there from Vortex. While you are in the bottom room and you are moving left, holding left the entire time, use a potion. If it has health or magic to refill, you will unlock the camera by using it. Walking into the next room, you can then grab onto the right-hand wall, hook that red mimic on the left-hand pot, and pull the green ones off screen. Once they're off screen, the game assumes, well, they're off screen, they must be dead, right? I'll open the door for you.
Yeah.
And he's continuing to show off tech here. That stair equipped there with the Cane of Samaria block. I'm not entirely certain how this one works, but you lay the Samaria block over there, kind of left-handish, around where the left-hand side pegs are. Walk down and start your dash while you're on the lip of that pit. And to turn up, you'll dash straight through the orange pegs. Not sure why it works, but it does.
Alright, P-Train climbing the mountain again. Zelga going into Skull Woods. Going to finally find that fire rod.
You wonder what the ratio of happiness to consternation is going to be when he finally opens the chest with the fire rod in it.
How many rage slashes do you predict? If any.
Maybe one or two. He's had time for checking all of these hint tiles. I figure he's got time to show us a rage slash or two if he really feels it.
Mm-hmm. Nope, just an immediate mirror. I'm out of here.
Got things to do, moths to see. P-Train now heading into Turtle Rock with that fire rod in hand. He's not locked out when he finds that big key in the left-hand chest.
And gonna go check Bumper Ledge. See that that's the fourth bottle. And abandon it. Zelga going right to the back of Skull Woods. And Vortex proceeding through Eastern. Nice bit of divergence for now.
Yep, unfortunately, P-Train is the only one showing us something new. Everybody else is kind of rewalking ground we've seen from other runners.
Actually, pot off the table. I believe that actually only leaves us Turtle Rock for Ice Rod.
Unless I've forgotten something, I believe that P-Train is going to find it here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't remember anywhere else that we skipped. We did all our caves, all our fetch quests. Even the tablets. We've been to every dungeon.
Yep, found both items in Hera, found everything in Ice Palace that's been full cleared, even the green pendant's been turned in.
Yeah, found everything in desert.
That is the sound of all of our disappointment.
P-Train left.
He left because the Vanilla Big Key chest had the other bow.
Ah. Very well.
Alright, that appears to be something that is not just a rough approximation of, but in fact, go mode. For P-Train at 1 hour and 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Zelgatus, having made the play into Skull Woods, found the fire rod, killed the moth, is now going to push that fire rod advantage right into Turtle Rock, and we'll find his bow here in a couple of minutes. Ed dropping into his moth fight with tempered half-magic fire rod. You don't really foresee any difficulties.
Very true.
Of course, as I say that, Moth decides to be uncooperative for a little while and steal away half of his health.
And our first look at the King Helmosaur. At raiding the pedestal, saying that that's Bo.
Frantically summoning the bird.
And yeah, so getting the bow and earring on it.
P-Train has his crystal off of the Helmosaur King. Vortex has found the fire rod in Skull Woods. Zelgo looks like he's going to start clearing out some dungeons that he still needs to do. And what play are we getting from Ed here? It looks like he has Skull Woods done, but the fire rod not marked yet, so he's going to find his bow.
Now the real question is, does P-Train feel ahead or behind at this point?
Well, part of that probably depends on how well he knows the other runner's tendencies. That early dip into Skull Woods, picking up that fire rod, whether he knows it or not, was certainly to his advantage.
Right. Which is what I assume he's probably thinking. He's saying, oh, I've had this fire rod for so very long. Could be very behind right now.
Yeah, if you think that somebody else found it early and made that Turtle Rock dip while they were up there checking the Dark Mountain chests, yeah, maybe you do feel behind in that case.
Right? Because by the time you were in Dark World, you had the book, so when you're clearing Skull Woods, it's, well, I have the mirror, I have the book, I'm here, you might as well check it, just in case. And Vortex is beating them off, P-Train's beating the Armos Knights. And P-Train's off the desert for that final 5-6 crystal. Gonna take that Dark World portal to come all the way up to the back. Does P-Train not know he's can go? No, he knows.
Yep, it's just a required crystal and he has to go fetch it.
Yep, he's just going right to the back of desert to kill off Land Molus, and then he gets to go right up to the GT. Finish up the season.
Zelgadus attempting to flute away, realizing that he has not cleared his final crystal yet and is now running back up for Eastern Palace.
And that is crystal number 7 for P-Train. So you know what time it is, right?
It is, in fact, just about that time. Speed gaming fans, we are heading to Ganon's Tower on P-Train's screen here in just a moment as soon as he gets out of this cutscene and activates his flute. In the basement of Ganon's Tower, there are 22 chests where the big key that he needs to complete this seed might be found. Where, Poseidon, do you think that big key will be found today?
Well, you know, I always like to troll and say 22 tile room, but for a legitimate guess, I'm going with 8.
Yeah, 8 seems reasonable. I don't really have a hard and fast personal guess. Somewhere around maybe 11. 11 seems like a decent number today.
Vortex now in Turtle Rock. Zelga clearing out Eastern.
And Ed following on his heels, he still needs to get his clear of pod in.
Yep.
Zelga picking up his seventh crystal rather, and flutes away to the mountain. He's going to be following along behind P-Train here at, what, probably about a 45-second disadvantage, do you think? Roughly?
Roughly, yeah. P-Train entering at 128 and guessing has stopped. So, item number 1, Bob's Torch, is our big key. So, today's winner is the Space Drake for guessing 1. Congratulations, you have won internet points and pride. And all of the Link to the Past randomizer seeds that you can get your hands on while supplies last. Congratulations.
Well, from here on out, it's pure execution on display. P-Train's going to put a show on for us. Zelga rushing in right behind him should be doing the same very shortly.
I was going to say that the only difference is that P-Train's going to have Master Sword, but I forgot that he found a third sword elsewhere. Which I definitely have to ask him. And it looks to be about a minute 20 behind for Zelda.
That's going to be rough to make up, especially since he's moving right first. He's going to hand away a little more time here.
Yeah, probably mirror and go left after the Hope Room here. Nope, 2 keys going full right. Right then.
No, that is kind of the meta play. You find the key in Hope Room and you go right. clean landmolus 2 kill there from P-Train.
And Thalgamir is out to go left. And there's your big key.
At which point you're probably thinking, uh-oh.
Just a little bit.
Vortex with his kill of the Helmasaur King there, picking up his, what, 5th crystal it looks like.
Should be 6. Or wait, no, Vortex.
The tracker does not think that he has the Desert
Yeah, no,
Palace
no,
crystal
Vortex
yet.
didn't. Desert, never mind. I don't believe he doesn't.
Well, either way, there was no way he wasn't going to do Eastern next.
And Moldorm. Technically 2, but this is the first one we've seen today. Ooh, P-Train recovering from a fall there. Near fall, anyway.
That was an
Will he take the
exceptionally
last possession?
uncooperative worm.
No, he's gonna leave the last possession of Moldorm in the chest.
Yeah, no time to spend that 1.5 watching that cutscene for the chest opening. Got a race to win.
Yeah, but, like, you could get a bug now. And 2-1-1-1 P-Train.
Not the most cooperative Agatu in the world.
Nope, not the worst either, so. And Vortex just said, what? I just shot you in the eye. You're supposed to die there. Not blink at me.
It's not fair when your weakness doesn't work. I'm the hero.
Meanwhile, Ganon giving us bug facts today.
And P-Train just blazing through the first 2 phases. You know, like you do when you're a really skilled runner.
Yeah. Did you find the silvers on planet Zappas? Or 2. I don't know, Metroid.
Nope, I'm not a hugely conversant Metroidite myself. Fourth phase, 12 spins to win. He's got his torch glitch, his half magic, his fire rod. P-Train's in a pretty comfortable spot here.
Ed found his big keys, headed up the tower. Zelga's beat Aga 2. And Vortex is finishing up Desert. And there it is. P-Train has taken down the Big Pig. All he has to do is cross Hyrule's most dangerous 1x3 bridge. Can he do it? Yes, he can.
Speed Gaming fans, get your GGs in the chat for P-Train. He has finished first on the restream and first overall with a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 40 seconds on racetime.gg.
Congratulations. And welcome, P-Train. GG.
GG's.
How you feeling?
Good. I'm kind of surprised I won that. I thought Left Side Swamp was a huge mistake. I miscounted items. So I fully expected to get sniped, like, as soon as I dropped into the Ganon fight. Like, I didn't think
So,
badly. I didn't expect to win this one, though.
yeah. Well, so a lot of everyone's mistake was that they never really went to Skull Woods until way late.
Yeah, you had your fire rod exceptionally early compared to everyone else on the restream.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, yeah. I tend to check Skull Woods, because Skull Woods seems to be hot lately. But yeah, I can see putting off Skull Woods. I considered it, because after doing Skull Woods, I had no clue what to do with Bumper Graveyard Ledge, so I ended up doing it. But that, again, that kind of felt like a mistake when you have, the entire village, Pipe Cave, all this other stuff available to you. It just felt really slow at the time. So I can see putting off Skull Woods to make that option maybe more attractive later.
So, by chance, P-Train, do you remember where you found your tempered sword?
Hobo.
Hobo. Okay, it was Hobo. Because everyone else had Bonk Rocks as their third sword.
Okay. Yeah, that's the weird thing about hard mode. So it's... Because I saw the bow and pedestal, obviously, right? So hard mode, you're supposed to have limited equipment, but it doesn't actually work that way.
And we have our second finisher on the restream, Zelgadus-san, with his second on the restream and second overall finish of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 38 seconds on racetime.gg.
Yeah, with the bow on pedestal, it could have been... It might as well have been a fetch quest, honestly. Because, yes, there's a bow and pedestal, but the way hard mode works, rather than reducing the item pool, you get the item. Like, all of the items are still placed. All the heart containers, all the heart pieces are still placed. Things don't actually change until you reach the threshold of what you're allowed to have. So yes, there was a bow and pedestal, but it's not until you get... There's still another bow out somewhere out there in the world. In this case, it
Right.
just happened to be Turtle Rock. So I wasn't too scared. I was not sure how to play it, like if I found the ice rod. But I never had to make that decision, luckily, because I found the bow before I found the ice rod.
Yeah, we were assuming that if it was indeed going to be bow off of the pedestal, then that you would have had to have found Ice Rod in Turtle Rock. Based on everything that everyone else had checked already.
We're now
Also,
also
Zelda's
joined
here,
here
so welcome.
by Zelda.
GG.
Good game.
Hey, GG's, thank you.
That was a nice little show you were putting on for everybody in the chat, checking all of the hint tiles for us.
Yeah, I realized they were probably on right after I left Spec Rock, and then I just went and checked in Desert. Like, yep, they're on. So, good
Oh,
stuff.
hints were on?
Yep. I realized the 100 locations was on. I was like, I bet hints are on too, and they were.
Yeah, I had to step away after joining the race channel. So on my way up to check on the way to check Lumberjack, I was like, all right, I have Canis Samaria. I just picked up some bombs. Let's quick swap over, and nothing happened. And I was like, oh dang. So they had talked about that before in the race channel, but I missed that conversation. So It's been a while since I've played without quick swap. It was interesting. My menuing is a bit rusty.
Oh yeah, my menuing was absolutely terrible. Like it was an awkward menu as it was for a lot of the time, but even then it was just particularly bad. But yeah, I was honestly surprised to have done as well as I did. Hard last location Moon Pearl after failing the bomb jump in Hera, and then getting to the fire rod at exactly the right time, by the way, because going there any sooner was stupid. And then right behind it.
Yeah, I did. Skull Woods was my first thing I did in the Dark World. My plan was just to do a sweep because I had the mirror at that point. So like, yeah, let's start at Skull Woods and literally just make a happy face all the way to Catfish. And then maybe if we find Hookshot, clean up Graveyard Ledge on our way to Catfish. And then I just found, a ton of stuff on the way, mitts, a lot of other goodies. And then I go to the Meyer area before the mountain and I find Bombos. I'm like, all right, well, let's pick that up. I almost dove Turtle Rock my first trip up the mountain, but I don't know. When you find flippers like that, you gotta leave. Like, I feel like Turtle Rock's kind of a waste of time at that point. Pendant Turtle Rock especially. Did Swamp, got boots. I dove Pod and Eastern, and then did Turtle Rock as opposed to Ice Palace, just because reasons. I don't know. I thought maybe someone else may have stuck around for Turtle Rock, so I went there. I was convinced. I'm like, I'm not grabbing the bow on the pedestal. Like, that was just my mentality this entire seed.
I never checked the pedestal. By the time it was even relevant to me, the only things I was missing were the fire rod and the bow. So I was thinking, the chances of the fire rod showing up and then that being the only bow are just so low. So that's actually interesting that it was actually a bow on the pedestal.
Yeah. No, I knew that. I went to Skull Woods first thing in the Dark World, got the fire rod, instantly killed Moth and checked pedestal. So I had that information for some time. Just kind of weighing in the back of my mind, the longer I went without finding a bow, it's like, man, is the bow in Pod or is the bow in GT? Even if it's in Pod, is it in the Dark Maze or is it on Helmasaur? Just so many things were weighing on my mind during the seed.
I had already saved and quit out a Cold Stare and everything like that. So if it's on the pedestal, I'm screwed anyway. So there's no point. But yeah, I was actually really surprised to have placed as well as I did with everything that went on here. I will say that by the time I got up the mountain, I was already feeling kind of behind. I probably would have gone into Turtle Rock if I had the fire rod, but since I didn't, the flippers were enough to get me away.
Yeah, for me,
if I may cut in for just a moment, we have our third finisher on the restream in Ed. A fourth place overall finish at 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 20 seconds. Get your GGs in the chat for him.
And Vortex is right behind him, dropping into the cannon fight now. And we're now joined by Ed. GG.
GG, Ed.
Jeez. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. GG's.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, that fire. I never skipped Skull Woods. I can't believe I skipped that. That would be completely.
Yeah, according to the commentators, I was like the only one who did early Skull Woods.
Yeah, I never ever skip it. But I got Titan's Mitts. I'm like, well, I can go to Meyer area and see what's over there. And it's like other things like. And we didn't have boots. If I had boots, I definitely would have went with boots. But no boots. It's like walking around everywhere so slow.
I mean, that's kind of what I was saying before you joined. Is just personally, I absolutely almost never go into Skull Woods without the fire rod. So I got it exactly when I normally would have, which was very, very late.
Yeah, I tend to dive Skull Woods. I just kind of consider it almost Dark World overworld when I enter the Dark. Anytime I enter the Dark World at Village of Outcasts, it's very hard for me to skip it. I had, I think, 2 tournament matches against Jet where he did early Skull Woods and I skipped it, and he wrecked me both times. So kind of a sore spot for me. I just don't. It's not common for me to skip it anymore, unless maybe it's a pendant I have the fire rod. But yeah, no, I felt bad because I miscounted items in swamp. I thought there were 2 items on left side swamp, and then there wasn't. I found the compass and the big key, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life right now? Like this is the worst decision ever.
We have our final finish on the restream. Vortex of Doom has finished with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 43 seconds. Good game to all of our runners. Get your GGs in the chat. Show your love for all of them.
So I guess you guys saw that there was another bow on Ped, right?
Yes.
I didn't know until they were talking about it when I joined the commentary call, but funny stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking, all right, where the heck is the ice rod going to be? I was thinking the other bow was going to be in GT, but lucky it was just on lava chest.
Yeah, from the moment I saw it, I basically played the seed. I was like, there's no way that's the bow that we're required to get. Like, I just refused to believe it. And luckily that played out.
I see T-Train never did Ice Palace, or did he like get 2 items and leave?
He
No,
never
I never touched ice.
You did everybody else double dip pod and eat?
I definitely did. The Moon Pearl was my hard last location because I screwed up the Hera bomb jump, so I just bailed, and so I did things like Eastern beforehand.
Yeah, I did swamp, and then after that I cleaned up some boots overworld among other things. I think there were a couple of fetch quests. I found the mushroom in swamp. I did the Zora area, found the shovel, cleaned up all that. Then I did Pod Eastern, and then after that I had the option of Turtle Rock or Ice Palace, and I went Turtle Rock. But I also had a really early fire rod, so that was kind of my thoughts there. My first trip up the mountain, I could have done Turtle Rock. I just opted not to.
Yeah, if I had fire rod, I definitely would have gone into DR right there when I was up there checking out Hookshot Game and stuff. I had Ether already, so.
Yeah, I thought about it, but flippers were just too strong for me. Like the item density in swamp is just too good to pass up. Especially with Turtle Rock being a pendant. It just didn't feel worth it.
Honestly, another thing that would have been pushing me going into Turtle Rock is because, as I said, and you guys may not have all realized this, but hints were on, and I was checking them the whole time. I saw one that there was a unique item in GT, so I thought that was the boots. So I was working under the impression the whole time until I found them in Swamp that, okay, well, they're just in GT. We're going to be walking the whole time. So it felt like for efficiency, I'd just go into Turtle Rock if I had the fire rod, but I just absolutely did not.
Yeah, I opened Turtle Rock. I just, after finding flippers, I just didn't bother going in.
If the small key and big key were in the opposite places, I find Bo 20 minutes earlier instead of last locating it. Because I did go in, got the big key. Hello,
well,
everyone.
you would have. I think you would have got stopped by the compass and chain chomps, even if the small key.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
By the way, GG
Also, hi,
Vortex.
GG's.
Thank you, GG. Yeah, that Meyer death, and then last locating Fire Rod and Bow was yeah, like I didn't feel great, but
yeah, apparently I'm the only person that got the sword off of Hobo. Everyone else got tempered and bonk rocks.
that was. Oh right, yeah, no, I did check Hobo, but
yeah, it was 20 rupees by the time we got there.
Yeah, for me it was tempered. I'm pretty sure the mail upgrades were C-shaped and checkerboard, maybe. I don't know how many items are replaced off of 20 rupees off the get-go, but
I got heart containers and heart pieces after seeing the 20 in checkerboard. And didn't have Master Sword, or didn't have Tempered yet, so that was, yeah. definitely
have the-
male.
Do you have the two shields? The fire shield?
Oh, I did have both shields, so that could have been a shield, I guess.
That's the weird thing about hard mode, and this is like 80% just stating facts and maybe like 20% criticism. But the fact that, you know, even though it's quote unquote a hard mode item pool, really everything exists except for what male upgrades and the final shield.
Yep.
Or I mean, we'll go ahead and call all the shields. That doesn't really change, but everything is still shuffled. You still have 4 progressive swords. You still have 3 progressive shields. You still have a ton of health out in the world. Nothing changes until you reach the threshold of the limit that you're supposed to have. You know, once you find 3 swords, then the last sword is changed into a 20 rupee. So for me, like playing the hard item pool, it doesn't really change a whole lot in the early game. You still get tempered when you would have gotten tempered. It just makes the late game maybe a little bit more dicey because you don't have hard pieces to lean on, and you know, maybe you're missing a Saint card or something out in the world because you've already gotten your art painters. I don't know.
It makes go mode a little different too, because you know you're not going to get any of those comfort items.
Yeah.
Except maybe half magic, I guess, would be the only one that you could conceivably be missing by the time you get to go mode. But like,
I actually didn't know half magic was in here. I was shocked to find that in pod. Like legitimately, I wouldn't have picked up the red boomerang if I knew that half magic was out there. I was like, I don't want to be using. If I have to go deep into GT, I don't want to be using Samaria blocks on the switches in GT, because you know if I only have 1 magic bar, I don't know how many potions I'll have. You know, whatever. I don't want to have to think about it. So yeah, I'll pick up the red boomerang.
And
then
then
I found
you walked in and it was
half magic.
Torch.
Yeah. Yeah, half magic in pod was a nice surprise. It probably has to be there because I think unless you have bottles, I don't think you can do Spike Cave with the cape unless you have half magic. At least logically speaking. Obviously, you can make it work if you have boots in the cape, but I don't think logic realizes that you can do it with the boots in the cape. I think if you have the cape, you either need a couple bottles or half magic.
1 bottle should be enough, but yeah, one or the other.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate the restream. Thank you very much for commentating, both of you, and shout outs to the trackers. I do have to step away. I have some errands to run, but GG's everybody. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thanks for running. Good show. GG's.
GG's. I just want to say that on my
Yes.
menu, I'm at 4 minutes. That was very, it's sad. I'm not so used to quick swap now, and now they, you know, going back to menuing, not as efficient.
Mine, I missed mine. I have to see it on the restream again. 401, yeah. Definitely tried to quick swap a few times in CAC before I got used to it. But yeah, GG's. Thanks again for the restream. Yeah, basically what everyone else said.
Yeah, GG's, much appreciated, everyone.
I always like seeing y'all's collection rates at the end. You're all literally within 12 of each other from bottom to top. 143 to 155.
Good game to all of you. Thanks for putting on a great show. Do any of our runners have any final thoughts about the seed?
Nothing from me. Just GG's, everyone, and thank you guys for doing the commentary and the tracking and restreaming.
Yeah, about the same for me. Thanks to, you know, the commentators, trackers, the audience. It's always fun to race on here.
Well, of course, with that said, make sure you give the runners some love. Give them a follow if you like what they do. They always put on such a great show with the past or anything else that they do. We have their links in chat, as well as our trackers, WTF Dinosaur, Bright Beginner 1, the NDM, my co-commentator, and myself. But more importantly, if you want some more speed gaming in your life, make sure to follow all of the 6 speed gaming channels. Plus, we do have more Twitch channels, but there are plenty of other events coming up very shortly.
It looks like we have RTA in Japan still ongoing on Speed Gaming Prime. They are right in the middle of Yoshi's Crafted World, it appears. And on Speed Gaming 2, right at the moment, we are halfway through a block of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Later on in the day on Speed Gaming 3, we have Link to the Past League Invitational match. But we've got another one of those coming up on Speed Gaming 2 as well. And it looks like maybe an open league match on Speed Gaming 4. Those last two will be starting at 6:10 Eastern. The first invitational would be at 5:10 Eastern. So stay tuned to Speed Gaming and the Speed Gaming family of networks for all of your speed gaming needs. I hope that everybody enjoyed very thoroughly everything that they saw today. Our runners, I think, put on a great show for us. Thank you for giving us a couple of hours on your afternoon or evening, or if you're catching it on the VOD later, but whenever you've chosen to give us your time, please do it again. Poseidon, why don't you go ahead and sign us off?
All right. Well, again, like me and DM said, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for running to our runners. Thanks for tracking to our trackers. And more importantly, thank you to all of you in the audience that enjoy watching and hanging. But until next time, stay random.